Okay. Hi, Gorge.
Hi, Gorge. How are you?
I'm so good.
Good to see
I'm actually
you.
really good. You know why?
Why?
Because we made the executive decision to just take time for ourselves today and be boys.
Yes, which I
I think after the month we've had, we both love.
Yeah, and it's just like, also, it's like, okay, Gorge, I can like, the first time in my life I can grow hair, I'm like, I need a sack. Just like, let me live for like 1 second.
That being said, please help me welcome them to
No, Gorge. I was like, where are you going with that?
I know.
No, Gorge.
I just downloaded, you know why I downloaded TikTok for the first time ever?
Because you're on it.
Well, yeah. No, because the video that you sent me of me falling.
Yeah.
Injury was on TikTok, and I was like trying to show it the other night, so I had to download TikTok. They got me, gal.
They got me, gal.
And I had to like tell them all my interests, but beekeeping was not one of the ones I clicked.
Wait, it was an option?
Yeah, I think
okay,
so.
it's really good.
There's so many options.
Beekeeping TikTok is so good, and there's like one girl, and she's like, and that's another day of saving
Oh
the
no, I
bees.
have seen this. And she's like scooping up beehives.
And she's like, I'm a professional, so I know these bees are not angry. And she's like this. She's like this.
I gave the branch a few good shakes, and it was another successful day of saving the bees.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment.
I just want to tell a story about how I use the mail app on my desktop and
oh my God. This threw me through the roof. I was like, what are you doing?
Okay, but why would
Freak?
Why would I go all the way to the internet and then type in Gmail and then log in when it's literally an app on my desktop?
Whenever I open my computer, like that one draft from like 6 years ago pops up and is like, would you like to finish this email? And I'm just like, fuck off.
No, I opened the mail app and Violet literally had an aneurysm.
I was like, what are you doing?
And then
Are you 75 years old?
Yeah, and then she
What
called
is
me
happening?
a nerd and moved on. I was like, what did I do? I got abused like just now.
I just like have never seen anybody on their desktop, laptop, computer be like, let me go check the mail app. Well, we just got off of tour, and I think one of the big takeaways from the tour is that everybody on tour, the girls included well, maybe not everybody, but the majority of the people that we were touring with, we really liked.
Yes, love. Like, this tour was good. Like, everyone was dope.
But I think a lot of the things that were coming up on tour and also referencing people in our lives locally here in LA.
And around, just like the vibe, me and Violet just kind of noticed this God complex that exists.
Well, so it was like more like people's perspectives can be very skewed, and I think a lot of people do have a God complex. And I know you were talking about yours, which I think is like really funny. And then mine is more like a character I play. Like, I think some people don't realize that me being all about myself and acting like it is part of like a self-aware role. Like, my show being called A Lot More Me is like,
Oh, for sure.
you know what I mean? Like,
No,
there
but
is
you are-
that for me, but yours is interesting. I've been seeing you in various scenarios on tour, having like realizations, like live in real time, like seeing it on your face, realizations, like when things are not going exactly how you thought they were going to go. Yeah. And I hate to say this because it sounds evil, but I've been dying at it. Like, looking over and you just being like,
No, Violet like actually laughs. Like,
I'm like
physically laughs at
laughing.
me.
I cannot not laugh
Like,
at
I
you.
can't
It's
even-
so funny. Because usually I'm the one who's in like a slightly sour mood, and so when you get in a slightly sour mood, I just cannot.
And we
take
like
it.
swap.
I know
Like,
that
it puts
there
you in a
is.
good mood when I am in a
and
bad
vice
mood.
versa.
And
When
vice
I'm
versa.
in a bad mood, you're like, it's okay, honey.
And I'm like, want to take a shot? I love you.
It's
Like,
okay, sweetie. And I'm like,
Not okay.
I know. And then vice versa. You're laughing and you're like, let's go. And I'm like,
I'm like, what did you think this was gonna be, bitch? I'm like, that's my favorite line for you. I'm like, what did you expect?
1,000%. You love that. You're like, this is showbiz, baby.
But I think having a God, no, I don't want to call what you have a God complex.
Yeah, I think that is the wrong word. It's just like, I'm just like really just, it's
well,
fine.
You're not wrong. Like, why
It's
not?
fine.
Why would things not work out for me? Like, you know what? Like, I deserve my goals to be met and the hard work that I'm putting in to be seen and the doors to be opened.
And life's too short to stress and like all of that. So just like, why stress? Like,
right. And I need to take a page from that book for sure, because I feel like my whole past 6 years has just been a constant like battle with everybody.
And I need a page out of your book though, because I am like too laid back. Like fully, I'm like, whatever, my passport's missing, I'll just get a new one.
Because I've done
just
that.
always vibing, just never, whatever. And then
you always, rule number 1 of drag, do not lose your fucking purse, you stupid bitch.
Yeah. Shut up, you little bitch. You little bitch. Little cow. Little bitches.
And this is a perfect segue into what happened.
oh yes,
like, I've never been more upset with you. I think this was the most upset I've ever been with you.
really. Damn.
I was very, very pissed off.
So sad.
So we've been shooting all day. We've had a great time. Roller coasters, rides, food, adrenaline. Like, her lash fell off. It was a whole thing. If you haven't watched the episode, it's definitely my favorite No Gorge episode so far. Even though the audio was questionable.
But that's just us.
But I think for Christmas we're gonna get better audio.
Santa.
That's our Santa baby. I think that's our present to ourselves. So then we get back to the apartment.
living life.
And your apartment is like
Fort Knox, like Buck.
It's the most annoyingly high tech. Like, our apartments could not be further from each other. Like, your apartment is it's like, you need like a fucking retina scanner to get in. You need a fob. You need a fucking code. You have to like get your fucking blood drawn to get in this fucking building by like a robot. Whatever. We get in and we're at the door and we're digging through this fucking backpack, black hole, Pandora's box backpack.
Oh yeah, well we noticed downstairs and I had like scan us up through my phone and like we finally get up and then we like put the bag down upstairs and this is when Violet starts getting pissed. Because also it's like 3:30 in the morning. We're starting to realize that everyone's keys are in the apartment.
No. I'm like, oh, well, we can just call a car and we'll just go. Nope. My keys are in the apartment to my house. My house keys are in the house. My assistant Mark's keys are in the house. Our other friend Carlos's keys are in the house. Everyone's keys are in your apartment.
You're causing all this.
And then Violet was like, okay, let's call a locksmith. Oh, we like...
No. I was like, call your mom, call the super. Who's got a spare key? There was like a keypad. You can like use a code, but she already used the one-time code. The neighbor comes out and starts yelling at us because we're being loud, but we're like in full drag, locked out, like trying to figure out how to get the fuck in this fucking door. And then I'm like, we'll call a fucking locksmith.
Yeah, so we call a locksmith and he's like, I'll be there in like 20. And we're like, okay, speedy. And then we're like, oh,
okay, sweetie, speedy.
Sweetie, speedy. And then we literally are like on the ground and I fuck you not. He shows up in like Dior,
hot,
head to toe.
It was giving very Galliano Dior trade. Like,
it was
raw,
fucking, like fit, hot, like dress. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
It was...
Violet sits up, puts her fucking wig back on, the hat, everything came back together. We were like, what? I like couldn't believe.
It was like a porn. It was literally a porn. He was like...
and we're not exaggerating. Like, he's like, I think I'm gonna have to drill it.
We're like, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to drill your hole. And we're like...
No, like full on, like saying shit like that, and we were like, what?
And then it's
like not a joke, like full on was like saying, and we were all like looking at each other,
and we were all like, yeah, drill our hole.
Yeah, we were like, drill it, like fucking drill it.
What the fuck?
So then he's like got us in and he's like standing against the door with like arm up. Like I can't believe we didn't record this part. He's like arm up. Like Violet's kind of like pissed already. Like in
no,
the
but I'm
apartment
like, okay, I'm like 75% leave me alone. I'm upset, and then 25% of me is like,
are we
let's
gonna
fuck
suck
this guy?
him? Yeah, like full on. So like he's like leaning, and I'm like little girly maid demon on the door, and I'm like, so like, what do I owe you? Like crazy.
But he's like at the door, like
arm up, like buck. And then he was like, oh, let me see what I can do for you. And we're standing there and he's just like standing and I'm like
staring at us. And
he's
I'm like human
yes.
hair wig, straight like.
So we didn't end up doing it. I pay him cash, like whatever, get out. It was like very weird. I can't even like, you could cut the sexual tension with like this finger. Like just, it was just funny. But it was Buck. And then, so he leaves and then we're like packing up and I like look at my phone. I'm like, Violet, he just texted me because I had to give him my number for like to get there.
The gate.
He texted me. I didn't have to pull it up. It was like, you are a very special person and I need to see you again with a butterfly emoji,
The
you guys.
butterfly emoji.
Trans. He thought
Dude,
we were
but you
going.
think he knew?
Yes, he's a chaser down. Look how he looked.
But like, do you think he really knew?
What did you think? He thought we were Little Women? Like,
Kinda.
no, that's your god complex. No way.
I was looking very femme that night. Imagine I was
Let's text him. Let's text him. Let's text him.
Okay, I dare you to text him.
What do we say?
Just be like thinking about you, Gorge.
Wait. Oh my God. Wait.
Well, while we were on tour, he sent you a question mark.
Yes. Okay. He said, you are really special and I would love to meet you with a butterfly. Oh yeah. And then we were on tour.
And then he was like this was like 2 weeks later almost.
And I was like, Violet, he sent me a question mark. We were dying.
Okay, but my question is,
what should I say?
my question is, do you think that he's interested in just you, or was I a part of the deal?
You're a part of the deal for sure.
I think so
he
too,
thought
but he
we were
doesn't
going to,
have
like-
my number.
I feel like he thought we were gonna like.
Tag team him, and we were.
Hi, sorry, just sorry, I was asleep. Just said sorry, I was asleep.
No!
What's up? And I'm gonna put the butterfly.
This is a dangerous game we are playing. Also, can we talk about that video I posted on Instagram of you with your tuck tape?
Oh my God. Yeah. No, okay, so literally I'm like running around this tour like fully tucked and then that fucking video just went off.
Well, just like I run around with a gaff on and my fucking pubes just like hanging out, and people are like, "Oh my God, like weird just hair." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a fucking man." Like, the fuck?
I know.
And then we were just like being silly one day, and I wasn't even thinking about it because like you don't run around naked. None of us do. We all have some sort of little panty or undergarment or tuck tape on.
I was literally just in tape.
You were literally just in tape and like I wasn't even filming you. You like bum rushed the fucking video, and then I posted it and people were like appalled. They were like, "How dare you post her naked?" And I'm like, Mick is not naked in
I
this.
know.
First of
I
all,
was like, you guys are buck.
it did look like you were naked, though, I will say.
I can't.
But I also got like 600,000 views, and I usually get like
well, people want to see it.
people were. I guess they also sent it to our manager.
No.
Yes, Brandon like got it sent to him.
Well, people were probably pissed at you for doing that to me.
Oh, whatever.
I feel like I am doing.
Well, you play with
drag in,
you
like,
get to play with
I
gender
play
in a
with
different
gender,
way.
and I feel like guys a lot of time like just assume I'm just like a cisgendered like dude in drag and shit, and then I like hook up with them, and then it's like another thing. We're gonna get into this on another episode, but on this like tour, it was definitely the most buck wild like gender wise for me, because I definitely like out of like all the gigs and stuff, like I have not changed my name or anything like legally yet, which is really fucking
We're
wild.
going there on this episode.
Just a little bit, like just a little bit. So this time around, I don't know why, but it was like a lot of things were very last minute, and so they would put in my Delta whatever class, what do you call it, like the status was just like would be like the highest one out of like the group we were with, and so they would like loop my boarding pass on everyone's to like get through faster, and then it was like everyone would have my dead name on their phones, and I could see it on everyone's phones, and then they'd be like, let's print boarding passes out, and then someone would be like reading them out, and I was like, oh my God, this is insane.
And they'd be like, who is blah blah blah.
Like crazy, like the hotels, like everything was like,
well,
it was just
also,
really crazy. And then there would be like, we would go and now
to eat, and then because of COVID, you have to have your vax card and your ID.
I'd be like with like a guy who I think is like hot or something, and then we would be like at like a restaurant or whatever, and then I'd be like, they would be like calling it out, and I'd be like, oh my God, now we have to talk about it. So it was just really bad, and so that kind of spiraled me into like a hole that like I have the most meta brain of life. And so I go into this like crazy spiral of like how I'm like a spiritual being and like bodies are stupid and like blah, blah, blah. And then I just, when it's like that though, it like kind of brings me back into like I am in this body though. And I'm obviously trans, so not a huge fan of this body. And so it's like, what am I doing like with it? Like I'm not giving myself time to transition. I'm not giving myself time to like look for people because I'm just going. I don't have time for surgery. I don't have time to like change my name. I don't have time to find anyone. And even when I do, it's gonna be 8 times as hard. And it's like just so. And then it's like I'm buck wild. I'm a drag queen. I'm gay as all hell. Like there's just so
many layers.
I'm never home. Like there's just too many layers. So then
But you're actually 12 also. But the name change thing, like I need to help you. I will help you prioritize that. Because it just has gotta happen.
Oh my God. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but I go on like, sometimes like I get in a weird porn hole. And this was maybe my weirdest one yet. Okay. I mean, I had to cut it, but I was just like, cause I like to watch like really buck porn sometimes. Well, not all the time.
Define.
Not even buck, but I just like, I really like sexually, I like love like a kinky situation like in real life. And then so I'm like watching like just normal like BDSM like whatever, and then somehow I ended up in this like this fucking dom girl like fucking pegging the shit out of this guy.
That's hot.
I didn't even finish the video. I know, I was like, filth.
Save the rest of it for later. Second half for later.
I know, but I was like finished and I was like, what was that?
Well, that's hot. Role reversal like that is so hot.
No, and the way this bitch was doing it, because I clicked out, I even like was like trying to find it, like I just kind of assumed it was all like that, and it just, that one bitch was like really buck. Like, she was like crazy, because I was even on like kink.com like looking at all the other like mistresses or whatever, and I was like, no, this bitch was like
the one. She
was the one, and she was so hot, and she was just like, the terminology. I was just like, wow.
I actually really love, I follow all these like illustrators on Patreon, and they do like comics, like adult. Nerd alert. That's nerdy.
No, actually,
that is nerdy.
I have a Tom of Finland like one in my.
Well, some of the ones that were like storytelling.
I have those.
Well, I also like reading erotic fiction. Like I love reading like erotic stories because then you sort of get to make up your own, like just I think it's more creative. Like I think it's more of a creative thing than like, because sometimes I'm watching porn and I'm like, oh my god, I don't like his shoes, or like I don't like, or like, ooh, the backdrop's gross, or like, ooh, he said this weird thing, I don't like how he said it, ooh, it like, and it throws me off. I have to go find a new video. But like when you're reading something that's well written and like erotic, you don't really have, you can visualize it yourself. Basically.
Yeah, no, 1000%. The Tom of Finland one does get me good sometimes.
I'm getting horny. I'm getting horny.
Wait, okay, so what are your like, when you find a guy, let's say you're on a date, what is your list of red flags?
Number one red flag for me, like that I probably cannot get over, but it's obviously an easy change. Footwear.
Me too. I was gonna say that too. That's my number one too. Oh my god, I cannot believe you just said that. That is in my brain when you were saying that. I was like, I wonder if it's so bad if I say shoes right now. Shoes. Because I thought you were gonna be serious.
Like, oh my god. If you can, like, you can tell
everything
so much
off of the shoe.
So
even if it's a
much.
good shoe. Like,
a YSL Chelsea boot. A little pretentious. Has some money, but maybe not a lot of money. And then how new are they? Like, are they scuffed? Are they not scuffed? Like, do they actually wear these out?
True.
Are they dressing up just for this date? Or I want to date with a guy who is wearing mandals.
That is the most trend following
like
gay you'll ever meet. Like any trend, he will be on it.
I do believe in fashion as a language.
100%. And the footwear is just like absolutely the number one game over one to me, especially like
a sandal. My next red flag is someone who's too nice.
I know. That is a major
red flag.
Yes, because
somebody who is such a yes person, like someone who's everything's amazing, you're incredible, yes babe, anything you like no, like I need you to also have your own life and like and tell me the truth. Like don't just like be a yes person for me. Like give me a real opinion here and tell me why and who and how.
And it makes me feel like a bitch.
People that are too nice also feel like they
just
have no trauma.
Tell me how you feel, bitch.
Tell me how you feel.
Like,
and
give
like
it
if
to
you
me.
truly are that happy, then we're just not a match. Like I need someone who I can relate to on like a traumatic level. Like
what you just
people
said.
That have no childhood trauma, it's like I'm sorry, you just like have no substance.
That to me is my weirdest red flag because I feel so weird for saying that. But to me, if you have no like, it's so weird to say, but if you don't have like baggage,
I can't relate to
like,
it.
what have you grown as a person for? Like, what
You
is
just
your journey?
exist.
Like, what is going on? I don't understand. Like, how can I don't get it. Like, you don't even know what growing is because you haven't had to. Like,
yeah, you're just like happy and existing.
I know.
Like I cannot relate to it.
I know that's my weirdest one. That's like
It's so weird. Or somebody who likes me who doesn't even know me. I'm like, how can you like me? Like why would you like me? You don't even know me. Like, oh, bad kisser. That's the red flag I was thinking about. Remember?
we actually were just talking about that. It's so weird. I don't even get how that works.
'cause
Like,
I was
what do you do? And you were like giving examples.
I was making out with a guy in Philadelphia at the club.
Oh yes, that's how it came.
That's how it came up.
Yeah.
So I forgot that I had made. I do this.
His footwear was really bad. Me and
I
Plesty
didn't
were
see-
like freaking out.
Well, I was in this mindset where I was like, all right,
He was wearing ankle socks and like cuffed.
ruin it for me.
Cuffed jeans.
Keep going. Do not tell me what in my mind. Let me just have the vision of him that I have in my mind. I don't need to be more embarrassed.
just go.
Do not tell me what he looks like.
I literally can't take this conversation. It's like killing
Do not tell me what he looked like, because in my mind he was moderately attractive.
Now why am I in it? And you could have did it. See how I get wrong because you never apologized.
In the lighting that we were in, he looked very cute. He was talking very cute. He had talked a good game, and he was a fabulous kisser.
Okay.
And that's the only information I want to remember. He had a nice body. He had a nice face. He talked to me nice. He wasn't scared of me, and he was a fabulous kisser.
Love.
That is the only thing I want to remember about it.
Yeah. But I
The
don't
point
even
is,
get like
is a bad
it's-
kisser is a major red flag.
I feel like you guys like kiss your friends, like figure it out. Wait, would you ever hook up with someone in drag? Have you?
Would I? Have I?
You have?
Yeah, I have.
No.
So I was at this bar in Atlanta called Mary's, which is like the one East Side gay dive bar, but in the row of bars that it's in, there's like a bunch of straight bars. So I'm in like a hard front Victory Roll wig, red glitter lips,
No.
fully beat like clownery before I even knew what makeup was. Cute little outfit. So I'm like dancing at the
Glitter
bar.
lips.
And I'm of course taller than everybody, and he's tall as fuck. Sees me, like makes a fucking beeline for me, like parts the way. He's like hot as fuck, like plaid t-shirt, like boyish looks, handsome, tall, like aggressive, like pursued me like the little angel baby doll girl. I don't know what happens, but he's saying all the right things.
Love.
And grabbing and like he's like aggressively pursuing me, and I'm like getting turned on. So we go into the bathroom of this bar called Mary's, and we start going to town, like making out, rips my skirt, like full fantasy. Yes, but I have red glitter lips on.
The worst kind of lip to have on.
Red glitter lips smeared all over my face, all over his face, everywhere. And I'm like, he's like, okay, well, and there's people like banging on the bathroom door because only one bathroom.
Love.
So I grab this guy in the hand and I run. I'm like, let's go. And I'm driving like a 1992 Honda Civic at the time. And it is like the grossest car.
This cannot get crazier. Keep
It's a movie, I'm telling you. It's a fucking movie. And I'm running and we get in my car, go back to my house, and I'm wearing hip pads, and he starts spanking me in the hip pads, and it's literally spanking me like this, and it sounds like this. No! Yes! And then he's like, okay, I have to go. And I literally like put a pillow over my face and like, get out.
No, you
Leave.
didn't swear.
What am I gonna do?
What the fuck, Violet? I'm done.
So that happened.
That was too much. That one was too much. Not putting get out.
I was like, just go. I was like, just go. Because the fantasy's over. Like, he obviously wasn't. We had finished. Like, it was done. Did you ever?
What?
Have you ever? And we were going to with this locksmith.
I haven't fully had sex, but there was one time that I was in a yurt.
What is a yurt?
I'm in full drag, and this guy's just wearing like he was like really gorgeous. He was wearing like an 8-inch like pleaser and like a jock strap, like running around, really cute. And he was just really hot. And then he was just like, we were hooking up in the yurt, and he just was like on all fours, and then I ate his in the yurt, and then he walked away and he had white face paint all over his ass. Yes.
See, that is why it doesn't work in drag.
It's like, no, like white face paint all over. But it's my fantasy to like, like drag queens are just it to me. Like, I don't know. I just love the duality of it. I think it's like the hottest thing ever. I want to I just love it. I'm just like imagining like a gorge like drag queen, like a little like. Mute that. No, just like anyone that's like really pretty, like stunning, girliana, and then like I'm like shit out of them, and then they the shit out of me, and we're both like, and she's just like stunning. I'm like, that's just everything. Is that not the best fantasy ever? The guy responded. Oh my god! He said he loved the butterfly emoji. First of all, literally, look, I swear to God.
Red, you just read it.
No! I'm gonna die! Mark, look what I said. You're gonna die.
Stop.
Oh my God.
Wait, I'm freaking out a little bit.
I'm gonna do the winky face with the tongue out.
Yeah.
Is that too much?
Just put the water.
He said, oh.
No, he didn't. Let me see.
Broken wrist.
Sorry.
Sounds good.
Okay, bitch, you can't not show it to me.
He said, you need more surgery.
Winky face. What do we do?
Yes!
What do we do? Do we suck his dick?
Bitch.
Oh. He's so fucking weak! Why is he not? Alright guys, so this episode definitely took a turn. I personally thought it was gonna go elsewhere, but
Yeah, I loved it.
in a dark ditch, a really sexy gorge ditch.
I love it. I love doing this out of drag. So fun.
Me too. I felt like I was like, I don't know, more open or something. I was just vibing, like
chilling.
Like loved it.
Well, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. This episode will definitely be available as a podcast.
Yes, we're finally back on our
podcast journey.
Yeah.
And yeah, make sure you stay tuned to everything in the No Gorge world.
Yeah, we're on holiday season.
Love it.
Give us some themes.
Yeah, we're gonna do some fun episodes. I think we've got a good Thanksgiving genocide episode planned, so that'll be interesting.
Very fun.
But we will see you guys next time. Thanks you so much.
Thanks,
Shusha.
Okay, love.
Let's do it.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Click all the buttons to connect with us, and we will see you next week.
Bye, Gorge.
Bye, Gorge.
Mwah.